Good morning. It's great to be here. It's been 2 years. I'm nervous. No. And 2 years ago, I was a youth group leader, I think, and I worked with a musician in the youth group. His name is Mark Stanton Welch, and I nicked one of his songs, so I'm going to do it this morning. It's about Cal Ripken. Baseball season has started, and that song came into my mind. It's about Cal Ripken's record, and never complaining. Went to, I think he played 2,000 games plus, or did he hit in 2,000 games? Anybody know? Played. Okay, we have a baseball fan here, and it goes like this almost. I wanna be like Cal, I wanna be consistent, I wanna quit complaining, I wanna carry on, I wanna show up smiling, wanna push the limits, wanna play forever and keeping on. I wanna be like Cal. This world is a mean mind place where everybody wants and so many take. I got 1 foot in, I got 6 steps out. Take what I need, then get out. Wanna be like Cal, wanna be consistent, wanna quit complaining, wanna carry on, wanna show up smiling, wanna push the limits, wanna play forever and keeping on. I wanna be like Cal. It's so dang easy to run away when I fall behind, first with the pain, rationalize and defend my escape. What could have been if I chose to stay? Be like Cal, wanna play forever, wanna complaining, I wanna carry on, wanna show up smiling, wanna push the limits, play forever and keeping on. Wanna be like Cal. 2,131, yeah, the man showed up, everyone wasn't fun. When I look to my life for some kind of streak, I see 20,000 times I fell asleep. But hear me now, the old way is done. It's a brand new me, this is day number 1. I'm gonna be like Cal, I'm gonna be consistent, gonna quit complaining, I'm gonna carry on, I'm gonna show up smiling, gonna push the limits, I'm gonna play forever and keeping on. I'm gonna be like Cal. It's just Thank you.
Thank you, David Robeck, and welcome back. We've missed you. And welcome back to all of you. It's so good to see. And of course, all of you that are with us online as well. Welcome everyone to the light and love that is Unity of South Sound. My name is Chris Lasarga, and it is my joy to welcome you here this Sunday morning. If you have any questions, concerns, or joys that you would like to share, please contact our office during business hours at 253-301-0385, or you can email us at office@unityofsouthsound.org. Now we invite you to relax, reconnect, and center in the truth of who we are. Will you please join me in saying our opening affirmation? There is only one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe, God the good omnipotence. Our mission statement, inspired by the divine as an inclusive spiritual community, we explore and express our highest potential. Our vision statement, present and centered in divine love, we co-create a peaceful and awakened world. And our core values, we are love, joy, abundance, and spirit guided. We'd also like to speak together our Minister Search affirmation. We open our arms to welcome the right and perfect minister for Unity of South Sound. This minister embodies all of the divine qualities that are best for this USS ministry and the congregation. We are grateful that our new minister is coming to us in the right and perfect time. Now I'd like to invite today's ministerial candidate, Reverend Megan Smith Brooks, to come and light our unity candle.
So I invite you just to take a moment to close your eyes and to breathe in the awareness that we are divine by nature. And we allow ourselves to feel that breath of life that is active in and through and as us, inviting us to be all we came here to be. And we know the truth of your opening affirmation. There is one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe, God, goodness, omnipotence. And I am one with that presence and power. And again, we breathe it in and we let it go. And we stand in gratitude and grace, for this is the truth, and so it is. Amen.
Feel free to stand and join me in our congregational song. First one up, Everywhere I Look. Everywhere I look, I see God in everything. Deep inside and all around me, God in everything. I can feel it in my beating heart, God in everything. It's in every breath of life I take, God in everything. Everywhere I look, I see God in everything. Deep inside and all around me, God in everything. It's in every stranger's face I see God in everything. Brothers, sisters, family, all are we, God in everything. Everywhere I look, I see God in everything. Deep inside and all around me, God in everything. It's in mountain, valley, lake, and stream, God in everything.
Hey, thank you, Michelle. And now is time in our service where we get to greet each other with a namaste greeting, handshake or a hug. And if you feel comfortable with those that are around you, please handshake, namaste, bow, or you can hug if you like. Otherwise, hold your hands together and say namaste. I behold the divinity you are, namaste. I want to extend this namaste blessing out to our Northwest region. Namaste, Northwest region. And I'd also like to extend this out to our nation, the United States of America. Namaste, United States of America. And finally, we'd like to extend this namaste blessing out to our entire planet. Namaste, planet Earth. Namaste.
I release and I let go. I let spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Woo-hoo!
Thank you, Michelle. Today's inspirational reading is from the Daily Word, and it is Inner Peace. I think peace. I feel peace. I am peace. Peace lives in my heart, at the place within me where all appearances of separation dissolve. I feel only peace, only God, only oneness. This peace is always mine, part of my divine inheritance. I carry it with me throughout every experience, every moment of the day. Nothing can destroy or even disturb my peace when I invite divine presence, the Christ of my being, to be my constant guide. A passing thought of fear, worry, or anger is a reminder to breathe, to release negative energy, to embrace peace. I feel renewed when I meditate, enjoy a walk in a peaceful garden, or take a moment to appreciate natural beauty wherever I find it. My indwelling peace manifests all around me as beauty, harmony, and bliss. May the Lord give strength to his people. May the Lord bless his people with peace. Psalms 29, verse 11.
It's a Grateful Dead song. A minister asked me to do this song. I've never looked at it the same way. If my words did glow with the gold of sunshine, and my tunes are played on the harp unstrung, when you hear my voice come through the music, would you hold it near as it were your own? Well, it's a hand-me-down. The thoughts are broken, perhaps they're better left unsung. Well, I don't know, I don't really care. Let there be songs to fill the air. Ripple in still water when there is no pebble tossed, nor wind to blow. Reach out your hand. If your cup be empty, if your cup is full, may it be again. Let it be known there is a fountain that was not made by the hands of men. There is a road, no simple highway between the dawn and the dark of night. And if you go, no one may follow. That path is for your steps alone. Ripple in still water when there is no pebble tossed, nor wind to blow, but you who choose to lead must follow. You fall alone. If you should stand, then who's to guide you? If I knew the way, I would take you home. Thank you. A Grateful Dead song.
Good morning. I want to thank David and Cerny for the beautiful vibrational message that you brought to us so far. It's just really lifted us up, so thank you so much. And I want to thank the Unity of South Sound Board and the search team and all of you who have offered such a beautiful and lovely welcome to my husband, Michael, and I in the last couple of days. It's really been inspiring, and I'm feeling a little emotional. So thank you. I just feel like I've been received and it's been a blessing, and so I want to let you know that I have a vision. And I'm wondering if you might be a part of it. In the movie Avatar, they share the greeting, "I see you," which means that when you see me, you bring me into existence. And it means that I see the love and your feelings and your soul, and you mean everything to me. So I see you. Actually, they would say it something like this: I see you. I see you. Walking through a dream, I see you. My light in darkness, breathing hope of new life. Now I live through you and you through me, enchanting. I pray in my heart that this dream never ends. I see me through your eyes, breathing new life, flying high. Your life shines the way into paradise, and so I offer my life as a sacrifice. I live through your love, for I see you. I see you in your woundedness. I see you in your resiliency. I see you in your fragility, but I also see your beauty. I see your tears and your fears, but your willingness to show up. I see your pain and your losses, but your authenticity and your courage as well. I see your anger and your self-doubt, but your compassion and your respect and your care for humanity. I see your uncertainty and confusion and your faith and your strength in spirit. I see your light. Do you see it in each other? That is my vision for humanity and also for the spiritual community that I want to be a part of. That The one that I seek is the one that honors with compassion and care and respect each other. It's a community that chooses to see who you came here to be, even when you momentarily forgot. Because we do that sometimes, don't we? But can we see our light that we have forgotten, our brilliance that we have discarded for a moment? And to practice with each other the spiritual principles and a way of living and being and creating a world in which we all thrive, because it is our divine potential. It is our divine birthright. We just haven't known the way. But we can come together to learn and grow and be and evolve and become all that. This can be the place to practice and to support each other, and to know that whether change is chosen or imposed upon us, because life happens, does it not? How can we learn to manage it as a way of a part of our experience of this human family together, and that it is offering us something to go beyond, to grow, to enhance our life experience, and it's serving good. So can we seek that potential instead of stepping back in fear? I think it's a beautiful vision, and I know it's possible. And so ask the question, how do we get there then? Because that's kind of the mystery, right? How do we get there? What must we embrace to align with that reality? And I say everything, without exception. I know we go that, but what about that? What about this? But I don't like that part. No, we have to embrace everything so that we can heal and thrive at the highest vibrational level that's attainable. And it's a practice. So it's why we come together and do this thing, right? So the spiritual community holds great value for our way of living. I want to share with you a fairy tale of the human spirit. There once was a little girl who believed in fairy tales. How about you? Living happily ever after and in magic. She would like to have believed that she was a princess and that the world was a magical place. But sadly, the little girl had to learn that through the reality of life, she was not a princess, and life was not a fairy tale. And though there was magic in the world, all life was not a magical experience. But through everything, in the end, the little girl grew up and never lost hope that there would be a happily ever after ending in her life. For that little girl was born into a family that she was loved and she was wanted. And the love is what helped her in knowing that the world was more than what it appeared to be in the outer reality. And she had the power to make it whatever she dreamed possible. And that little girl's name was Megan. And I was that little girl. I am that little girl. I thought I was a princess. I believed in magic. And the world was this magical place. And then I went out into it and discovered not everyone saw it the same way. And yet, there's elements of that can be our truth, right? And so I know I was loved. My family was not perfect, though. So knowing that I was loved does not make the experience of living in this magical place a fairy tale. And yet fairy tales often have great value and a story that can give us an important message of how we can transform and go through something traumatic and come out in a much better place and learn something of value about ourselves. And that's really what life is. So we can say life is a fairy tale. And so as I've gone through my journey of living, I have come to learn that we make magic from everyday experiences and create a fairy tale for ourselves if we choose to claim it. And it is called our journey to a spiritual awakening. When we choose to live life beyond what the world defines for us, We can buy into it and wonder why we don't seem to fit. Or we can say, that may not be the truth of me. What is my truth? Who am I? How do I show up authentically? That's part of our practice, right? And so our life experience shifts when we have the courage to take that step into embracing everything. And it's a courageous step. And it's one that we're not taught that we should be taking from the very moment that we begin to toddle around. We're not taught that it's okay to really explore and just try stuff out. And so when I say embrace everything, I'm talking about the challenges, the pain, the betrayals, the changes, whether expected, imposed upon us, or chosen, the losses that trigger grief and sadness, the emotional and mental pain of life, as well as the joys, as well as the successes and the beauty and the adventure and the happiness, all of it, the full spectrum and everything in between. The gratitude, the quiet, and the thrilling times, all of it. Because avoiding or attempting to circumvent any of it deprives us of aligning with our wholeness. And why would we want to do that to ourselves? See, if we just seek the good stuff, we're only experiencing half of what life really has to offer us. And so our choice to participate, to embrace, to heal, to transform every single moment of our lives leads us to arriving to that happily ever after place. The awakening to where we can truly see the good and the value in everything that happens, even when it's uncomfortable, and even when we'd rather avoid it. Because it's necessary, and it allows us to become who we are here to be. So life can be scary, right? It can be painful, it can be embedded with loss, and it always includes change, but it also includes new beginnings. And the new beginnings happen when we're ready, because we have gone through the change and all the stuff that brought with it to learn what it had to teach us and decide what part we're going to include, and then we can begin because we have the foundation to succeed. So the new beginnings, the opportunities, and all the wonderful surprises that come along with it, those gifts. It's challenging and at times overwhelming, and we want to hide, we want to isolate, we want to avoid it, we want to dig in deep, right? And yet, when we've experienced a huge dose of that, like what we've just gone through with the pandemic, it's interesting that we've had this experience on a global level. I don't know in history if we can ever really think about how everyone in humanity is going through the same change that has dismantled life as we know it at the same time. I think that's something to pay attention to, because something was calling for us to shift, and we had been avoiding it. We had been, just going, oh no, that's not for me. I want to stay where it's nice and easy and comfortable, right? But everyone is saying, no, it's time to look at differently, and then maybe it's by seeing each other's light. Really honoring each other in another way and saying, I might look different, I might come from a different country, I might have all kinds of variables that don't look the same. But inside, we all have that same divinity that aligns us in a oneness of we're meant to be beyond survival. We're meant to thrive. And we can do it together if we honor each other with compassion, respect, and care. And so I believe that we are being awakened to experience many new blessings if we're willing to see with new eyes and embrace it all. And how do I know that? Let me share a bit of my story. I am a Northwest native. I was actually born in Fairbanks, Alaska. We moved to Seattle when I was about 16 months old. My father was a sales manager with Pan American Airlines, and he was promoted to be the manager of the downtown Seattle office. And so my family was blessed with many opportunities to travel, to experience new cultures and different ways of living and see different faith traditions, to really see that we don't all do this the same way. I was the first of 5 daughters in my biological family. My sisters like to point out that I'm the oldest. And I say, well, that's fine because I learned leadership skills that you don't have. However, as I grew up and I recognized that there were different faith traditions, I was very blessed with my maternal grandmother, who was very spiritual, and though raised a Methodist, which you have a sign right out there that says that, she discovered Unity in the 1920s. She was born in 1889, the same year that Unity began, actually. And she corresponded with Myrtle Fillmore, who greatly inspired her. She started a study group in West Seattle. And my mother tells a story of how Charles Fillmore, co-founder of the Unity Movement, came and they had a parade in his honor and all the women dressed in white, and she just couldn't believe what an experience it was, and it imprinted something in her mind. And so though she was raised in Catholic schools because that was her father's tradition, they always had the daily word in their home as she was growing up. My father was raised in the Presbyterian tradition in Canada, which was his birth country. And so we moved around a lot with his work, and I was exposed to Unity and then Presbyterian. And then Baptist, because I had 2 uncles that were Baptist ministers. And I was able to see that people honored the one God in many different ways. And so it inspired me to ask questions, not always welcome, I might ask, but I was curious. And so as I was exposed to different things, my introverted self was not really happy about all the moves we made. I went to 8 different schools growing up. So if you ask me where my hometown is, I don't know. But Unity influenced in me in my younger days and planted seeds in my adult self that reconnected as I began to explore my spirituality and the foundation of my beliefs in my early 20s. And my mother said, you may want to go back to Unity. I think that you would find a home there, and I did. And so as I began to reclaim my authentic self that had been battered down through an abusive marriage, but also blessed me with my 2 young sons, I was inspired to discover my own inner strength. And I walked away from that relationship and began my journey of self-discovery and inner growth that led me to becoming a licensed Unity teacher in 1995 at Seattle Unity Church. So all of my training and grounding years in spirituality was here in this greater Seattle area. In hindsight, I can see how each significant period of growth and change was triggered by some painful and traumatic experience in my life. And so I could see how they served a purpose. Would I go back to relive that? Would I have chosen it on purpose? Heck no. However, because as a human being, we don't choose to put ourselves into difficult situations where we have to stretch ourselves, it's sort of like this divine plan of imposing it upon us. And we find ourselves in those places and we go, why? And I've learned that the question is not about why did this happen to me? It's what are my options to move forward? How do I respond, and how do I find something to learn and grow and expand the consciousness of the boundaries of my reality so I can experience more and be more of who I came here to be? And so I have this mantra that says, just say yes. Is that what Nike does? Nike says, just say yes. I didn't know about that then. But I just say yes means to say yes to this new opportunity that can stretch, it can offer something of value that I will learn. And even if I redirect myself somewhere else because it only goes so far, it wasn't a waste of my time. The opportunity offered something that allowed me to expand my horizon. So I got to speak at probably 9 different Unity communities in the greater Puget Sound area. My mentors were just really wonderful at giving me new opportunities, and I didn't know that what I was doing was my training ground to become a minister. And so after being a licensed teacher for 10 years, and people would say, when are you going to be a minister? I'm like, oh no, I'm not doing that. Because I thought you had to be perfect, you had to have transformed everything and had it all figured out. And I told my minister, Karen Lindvig, who's still at Seattle Unity, and she laughed and she said, that doesn't happen. So, you know, if you feel called, then you should go. But, you know, when we got to school, and my husband Michael and I, we met in seminary at Unity. We actually were ordained and graduated on the very same day together. So we've been on a long adventure, of which I've been blessed. But, you know, when we get to seminary and they say, so if there's anything else you can do and except a minister, you should do that. Because it's not an easy path. It's not. We don't just stand up here and talk off the top of our head every Sunday morning, then go off and have a good time. You know, and so it's a calling. And I realized that as I was being prepared, I finally answered that call and was ordained in 2007. And at that point, I thought I had experienced the full spectrum of life challenges. I'd been through some stuff, some really painful times. But up till then, I didn't realize that the most painful and the most heart-wrenching and traumatic experience in my life was yet to happen. And that was May 30th, 2013, when my younger son, Justin, at 29 years old, was murdered. It took me to my knees. It shattered my heart into a million pieces. It left me with nightmares for months, just trying to imagine what my son's last moments of life were, and trying to grasp that there were human beings that chose to take his life on purpose, and I couldn't comprehend that. Nobody can. And I had to slowly move through that process of coming to terms with this also was something I had to embrace. When I say we have to embrace everything, I had to embrace that as part of my human experience, because no one escapes the pain of loss and change and grief in our human lifetime, in all the different forms it may come. And so I walked through that nightmare. I learned how to breathe again. And though I realized that it was something that I didn't choose, I came to a place to accept that this was offering me something to learn from. And as I observed how people manage grief and their discomfort, I recognized that this is something we have to bring out into the open and talk about. We need to be comfortable with everything and not just talk about the good stuff or pretend I'm okay when I'm not, but to be authentic and to honor each other in these challenging times and help each other go deep into that abyss to feel what is there so that we can discover the hidden gift that is offering us, that can break us open to enhance who we are in ways we never imagined possible, because grief comes to be our friend. To walk us through this place, okay, now you get to heal and transform, and to thrive in a way that you can discover meaning and purpose beyond what you ever thought possible, to really shine your light. The value that we may not have grasped onto if everything was just smooth and easy, right? So, grief changes us at the core. When something painful happens, it changes us at the core. When life as we know it becomes unrecognizable, it changes us at the core. And so the process of getting to know who we are becoming is the healing process. Is to say, I can't be that anymore. It's impossible to put those pieces back together. So who am I becoming? And what is this new relationship with myself that I am on the journey to discover. And that can be a beautiful path to discovering our true light. And if we're not willing to process it, we are denying our light. And that can be tragic. So how do we embrace the pain of loss and change, embrace it all? George Harrison from the Beatles said, "It is in the human's dissatisfaction with life that we seek happiness. And we only find it when we come to know God." It is what Jesus said in the Beatitude, "Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall find comfort." It is about that I have been disturbed, rattled, and thrown into such chaos that my only path is to come to seek God, that creative, that ceaseless creative energy of life that we know gives us this experience. And we call it God or whatever name you want to call it. We seek that within ourselves, our divine nature, for that comfort. And so deep mourning leads us to finding a new relationship with that which we call God. To rediscover that everything we've ever needed and all the things that we embrace in life can be guided from that place within us. And I believe that was a part of my deep grieving process, was seeking the comfort from within. My mourning for my son's presence became my longing for that which would comfort me. And it could only become a reality from within. And my openness to be vulnerable and changeable. Pema Chodron, a favorite teacher of mine, offers in her lessons from the book When Things Fall Apart, I highly recommend it, a discussion on the Buddhist term bodhicitta, the awakened heart. Are you familiar with that? Which is really about transformation and enlightenment. And so when we acquire this awakening, this bodhicitta, not by fearing the process of feeling deeply, but through our longing to connect with the divine within, the connection to our source. And when we do, we find ourselves, and at the same time, we experience that we call God. We experience what we've been seeking all along. That creative energy of life, it's an experience of grace. I didn't have to go all the way. I just had to move in that direction, and it was bestowed upon me. That true comfort in knowing that when we meet the energy of what I call Godness, in the experience of our hurting hearts, we always receive a gift hidden within the process if we have eyes to see, ears to hear, an open heart and a willingness to receive. For grief is not something we get over, it is something we learn to live with as a new part of who we are becoming. And that is a wonderful thing. How many of you thought about grief can open my heart to be more than I ever thought possible? Not that I'm going to go out and seek it. What I seek is the guidance and the comfort and the knowing of my divine nature that knows the truth and will lead the way. And so we embrace all of it. We embrace what we call the bodhicitta. We open our hearts. So I'm reminded of a quote by Carl Jung that really brought this whole idea of the gift of grief from change and loss. And he said, "Embrace your grief, for there your soul will grow." A rich gift within the art of living. So my vision comes back around. How can we be a spiritual community together and honor each other and the value of our life lessons that collectively enhance each other? How do we do that? How can we be different in the light of the world, changing as we know it? What can we use to enhance our way forward, our quantum leap moment? So we throw into that and we go, whoa, what just happened? Where am I? I don't recognize this place. Let's explore it. Maybe there's something fun that will really, make life different in a way we never thought possible. So to ensure our experience of thriving as we move into our future abundantly is what we're seeking. Each of us must dive deep into the realization of the gift that you represent and what you can offer to this community. So I'm seeking a community that is willing to do that. Could you be the one? Would you be willing to be that courageous? The community that embraces everything and calls it good and say, now what do we do with it? How do we move through this experience so that we know we can thrive no matter what? I see you. Thank you for letting me be here today with you. It's been an honor.
Thank you.
So we're going to kind of shift that vibrational energy and just take a moment to go within and just allow ourselves to be in that place of open receptivity. And so if you're comfortable, to close your eyes and take in a deep breath and just notice your breath breathing you. Notice how it expands within you and it gives you that vibrational, active essence that you are. The comfort, the peace and serenity, just that flow and that rhythm that connects us with life, the beauty of our breath. And as you release your next breath, I invite you to consciously, intentionally let go of anything and everything that is not one with your divine self, that does not serve you in aligning with your wholeness. And so we just lovingly release it. We say, thank you for what you gave me. I don't need you anymore. So I let you go. Because we know that anything we release it so it can be transformed into some greater value elsewhere. So again, we take in a deep breath and we feel that breath expanding and we move it into our heart space. Just breathe into your heart, the intelligence of your heart. And we surrender into that place within us that we know and experience that which we call God. The serenity, the healing, peaceful space within us. The place where we experience healing and transformation, and we are safe, for all is just there to support our good in this space within us. So I invite you to go into that place and just to honor your woundedness. If there's a place that is fragile and feeling some pain, discomfort, uncertainty in life, and just to be in that place and let it speak to you, to feel it, to honor it. And maybe ask the question, what do you have to teach me? What do I need to know? I'm listening. And so we take a few moments in the silence to just be in that place that we have been uncomfortable with, but to know in this space of love and peace and serenity, I'm receptive to experiencing what it has to offer me, how it's here to serve me. And so I listen. and I breathe, and I feel, and I know, and I am grateful. I'm grateful for what I realized in this moment and for the realizations that are to come as I remain open and receptive to the gifts of the universe, as I embrace everything and call it good. And as I open my eyes, I come back refreshed, awakened, and aware of the beauty of the world and the light in each other. And in the name and through the power of that light that we call God, we say amen, and so it is.
Thank you so much, Reverend Megan, for sharing your story with us, for trusting us with your story, and for challenging us to embrace everything and call it good. Yeah. We want to thank all of you who may be joining us for the first time, whether you're here with us in person in the sanctuary or online. We want to say welcome and thank you for sharing your consciousness, your love, and your light with us. If you've been with us before, we want to welcome you back. And if you've been with us for a long time, we want to say welcome home. To all of our friends, we want to share our unity blessings. So for all of our newcomers, for all of us that are coming home, and to our live streamers, we want to say we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divinity you are. Yes, amen. At this time, we'd like to prepare for our love offering, and I'd like to invite David Robeck back up to prepare for his song. And this is the time in our service where we get a chance to share of our financial blessings and gifts with this community. There are 4 ways that you can do that I'd like to share with you. You can visit our website at www.unityofsouthsound.org. And in the upper right corner of our homepage, there's an orange donate button. You can make a one-time or an ongoing donation there. It's simple and secure to do so. You can also call our office at 253-301-0385, or you can mail to us right here at Unity of South Sound, 710 South Anderson Street, Tacoma, Washington, 98405. If you're here in person, there's an offering plate at the back of the sanctuary. So whichever way we make our tithes and share our gifts, we hold these love offerings in this moment in our hands and in our hearts, and we affirm together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am in perfect balance and flow with the universal tides of giving and receiving. Thank you, God.
Smile, though your heart is aching. Smile, even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you'll get by. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you'll see the sun come shining through for you. smiling, the whole world smiles with you. When you're laughing, when you're laughing, the sun comes shining through. But when you're crying, you bring on the rain. Stop your sighing, be happy again. 'Cause when you're smiling, when you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you. So keep on smiling, keep on smiling. The whole world smiles with you. Thank you.
Thank you, David. We have just a few announcements today that we'd like to share, and we'd like you to know that you can keep up to date on our Sunday services and what's happening here at Unity of South Sound by subscribing to our weekly newsletter, the eBlast. You can go to our homepage and click on the newsletter sign up. There's a button at the top. Fill out your contact information and submit it there. Your information will be safe and secure on this site and will never be shared. Coffee with Unity. Join us on Zoom on Wednesdays at 11 a.m. for a connection and sharing of what is on your heart and on your mind. Check the eBlast for the meeting code for this group, and I know this group has been a staple for many folks, so please, if you've been thinking about joining, just go Zoom on Wednesdays for coffee. It's a great group. Unity of South Sound is now open, yay, for in-person services. And all are welcome. For the time being, masks are recommended, as well as social distancing, and we will be using our modified Namaste greeting. Please note that these guidelines are subject to change at any time as we go forward. And we'll continue to live stream our Sunday service over Facebook and YouTube each Sunday morning at 10 a.m. We invite you to join us in whichever way you feel the most comfortable. Also, we're ready to welcome our younger children back to Children's Church beginning the next Sunday, April 10th. And so we'll have teachers available for children ages 3 years and up. Infants and toddlers are welcome in the sanctuary with their parents. Our Unity Pledge Drive, Help Our Community Grow. Unity of South Sound is wrapping up our March Pledge Drive, and it's not too late to send in your forms, and never too late to share with this ministry and this community. Our goal is to raise approximately $189,200 in pledges, which would enable us to fully fund our 2022 vision. If you're blessed and inspired by this ministry and would like to invest in it or increase your current investment, please visit our eBlast for the pledge forms and mail or email them back to us. And we want to thank all of those who have already pledged. Our Easter celebration. We invite you to join us on Sunday, April 17th. Wow, just around the corner, for our Easter celebration in person on Facebook Live and YouTube. As part of this special service, we'll be holding our traditional flower ceremony in which we will weave flowers on our wooden cross. And we'll also have an Easter egg hunt immediately following the service for all of you, well, for the children, but if you want to join in, feel free. We can't wait to celebrate with all of you. Prosperity Plus 2 is coming. Yeah, an amazing interactive class that is not just fun, but also includes a variety of exercises, videos, readings, and modern research that supports long-held New Thought principles. We're currently seeking teachers to assist us with offering this awesome prosperity class and series. Classes will begin the first week of May, and we will hold a teacher training on Sunday, April 24th after the service. So mark that on your calendars if you're interested. Please call or email our office and let us know if you're interested in facilitating one of the groups. Now I'd like to call up our board president, Michelle Zwasta, and she has an announcement about our candidate.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much, Reverend Megan and Michael, for coming and sharing with us. I want to make sure you all know to hang out for a little bit after the service, because we will have a Q&A where you can ask questions and Reverend Megan will answer them. So hang out for that if you're so inclined. Also, I want to make sure that you are aware that there are forms in the back as well as online. You can get them through the e-blast for the electronic forms, or the paper forms have a QR code if you want to just scan that with your phone. If you're fancy like that, you can fill them out electronically too. We are asking everyone to give us your feedback on Reverend Megan. As a board, that's important to us, to get your feedback as congregations. So please give us your feedback on today. There's a form for today's service as well as yesterday's workshop. If you haven't already done that form, that's available. And then we have the final form, which is a final, basically a thumbs up, thumbs down, give us feedback form on the whole entire thing, right? So please make sure you fill those out. There is a deadline, all right? So we would request that you have those forms in no later than end of day tomorrow, which is Monday. Electronically, obviously, it could be 11:59 p.m. or whatever. You could probably carry it out to 8 a.m. I don't think anybody's going to be up looking at it at 2 a.m. But if the paper forms, if you're doing a paper form, you'll need to get that to Heidi while she's available, so you'll need to reach out to the office. Or make sure you do it today here in the sanctuary, but for those who are online, ideally you'll fill out the electronic form. So I just want to make sure you know that's very important to us. Please fill out the forms, give us your feedback. We will respect and honor the information that you give to us regarding our candidate that's here today.
Okay, so we all have some work to do, but it's good work, right? Call it good. It is good work. We want to bless our youth, and we have some teens that have been meeting with us on Sunday, and we know we look forward to having youth starting next Sunday, but wherever they happen to be today, we want to send blessings out to our youth as well to our teachers and our youth director, Jennifer Richardson. So to all of our youth, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divinity you are. Now I'd like to invite you to stand if you're able, wherever you are, hold your hands high as we sing our peace song, sending peace out to the entire world.
Peace that was meant to be.
Now, our prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Thank you for joining us. We look forward to seeing you next Sunday and every Sunday going forward. God bless you and have a great week.
All the world over, so easy to see. People everywhere just wanna be free. Listen, please listen, that's the way it should be. Peace in the valley, people got to be free. You should see what a lovely, lovely world this would be. To live together. Seems to me such an easy, easy thing this should be. Why can't you and me learn to love one another? All the world over, so easy to see. People everywhere just wanna be free. Listen, please listen, that's the way it should be. People everywhere just wanna be free. If there's a man who is down and needs a helping hand, all it takes is you to see it through. Seems to me we gotta solve it individually, and I'll do unto you what you do unto me. Be shouting from the mountains and out to the sea. No two ways about it, people got to be free. Ask me my opinion will be it's a natural situation for a man to be free. I'm sorry. It was getting, I couldn't hear it.
Guys, I love it.
Oh, thanks. What's that? Oh, really? Next time I'll choose it. That's a great song.
Felix Cavallari, I think.
Yeah, I
I'll just make a quick announcement. Ladies and gents, if you are interested, Reverend Megan does have some of her books at the back table for sale. They're $10. You can connect. There's only a few copies left. They are signed. You can connect with David, and he can take your money. They'll cash your check for $10.
And remind them that we're having a Q&A and it'll be a brief.
And we are doing a Q&A in just a few. If you guys want to just kind of hang out and be around, we'll get that started here soon.
Ready? All right. I'm going to encourage everybody to come back to your seats and get settled for a Q&A session. our beloved AV person has another job to go to in a very short time. So we want to make sure you're able to ask your questions and get them answered. So I'm going to herd everybody back into the pews. Because I'm sure there's some questions that people would like to ask. And I want to give Reverend Megan the opportunity to answer them. So make your ways into a spot where you'll be able to do Q&A. I'm herding cats. I'll come cuddle you into the pews. That's right.
In the valley, people got to be free.
People got to be free. Free to ask questions, though. All right. So here's how this will work: is I've got a mic, and you raise your hand. I will come to you, and you can ask your question, and then Reverend Megan will be able to answer for you. So who would like to be first? Anybody? No questions? Oh, Julie's got a question. And it is still kind of noisy, so speak up.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
I just wondered if you'd applied at other churches,
I did.
and if you might elaborate, if that's
I'm fine with being transparent, and I did share it with the board and the search team too. It's like there's this process that you're seeking a minister, I'm seeking the community that I really align with, and I wanted to make sure I had an opportunity to align with one. And so I applied at the same time to 3 different churches where they strategically and geographically aligned with me for different reasons. And one of them, I felt like there were some red flags, and so they invited me to come, and I said, I'm not sure it would be a good idea to introduce me to your community if I don't see myself there. So I put that on hold. The other one is still kind of in the possibility of going to their community, and I haven't heard back from them. And I'm just going with the flow of the vibrational energy. But I have to let you know that because I have family connections here and this feels like home, I'm having a hard time imagining myself elsewhere.
All right. Next question. Anybody else got questions? Oh, Scott's got a question.
So forgive me, if there was more information, I didn't see it, but have you served as a minister for a community before, since you were ordained?
Oh, absolutely. I was an associate minister at Unity of Mesa in Arizona, a senior minister at Unity of Brea in Orange County, California, and that was a community. It was interesting because the average age was about 80. Had a 103-year-old, and they really, my job became ushering them into closing that they weren't fully committed to the community. I've served as a senior minister at Unity in Pasadena, California, and then co-minister with my husband Michael, who's also an ordained minister, Unity minister at New Thought Unity Center in Cincinnati. And since we stepped down from that, we created an alternative Unity ministry we call Unity Awakening Ways that has been an online way of serving, and I've done a lot of my grief work with that.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next question. Raise your hand. I'll come to you with the mic.
I just want to say there's a house for sale right next door to us.
Oh.
He's saying there's a house for sale.
Can you
next
help
door.
negotiate a really good deal?
I know him really well.
Anything else? Okay. All right, any other questions? Reverend Megan's here to answer any questions you might have. Yes, Al. This is Al.
Okay.
I'm trying to introduce people.
Happy birthday.
So, Reverend Megan, welcome you and
Thank
your
you.
husband or Michael, excuse me, thank you, and what you bring here. And it was so wonderful to hear your message, to hear about the workshop yesterday, to feel your energy, your love, your light, the truth that you're sharing here. And thank you for your transparency about looking at the other places along your search. This is a long way of asking what inertia might there be for you not to enthusiastically embrace us in the same fashion that I'm sure everyone here is feeling for you. What are the things, in addition to a house or?
Do you want to buy me a house? Okay. Well, you know, we have, you know, and quite honestly had a concern because the cost of living here is like double what it is in Cincinnati. And we could stay very comfortable. We own a townhome there, and I love, you know, I've created my space, but it's like it's in the wrong location. And so, you know, so that is a concern, but we trust the prosperity principles that I have never been called to serve anywhere where beautiful things manifested in ways that served to nourish and provide the space that I needed to thrive. So I've no doubt that that would be the same here.
Great.
I
heard it said embrace everything.
That's right. And really, you know, once you start to do that, it becomes a way of living, so that your immediate response to anything that happens isn't like, oh my God, what's wrong with me, or why is this happening to me? But it's like, okay, so what are my options? You know, what can I do? What's needed? And sometimes it's just taking a breath and taking care of me until clarity comes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Nick.
Mm-hmm.
Hello. It's afraid of me.
Hello. Oh, there we are.
Hello.
Hi, Amy. So you talk about classes, you know, here at Unity, and are they, here's my question. Like, I'm not like a uber Unity person.
Okay.
You know, I come and I'm learning as I go. I mean, I love these people. It's like, I don't think my heart could get any bigger. They're just beautiful. Is there room in Unity for studying things that are outside of Unity?
I think Unity embraces it all.
Okay.
So, you know, Michael and I, Michael is also a really wonderful teacher and speaker with a great sense of humor, so if I ever had laryngitis, he'd be a great fill-in. But we enjoy looking at an eclectic thing, so not just focusing on Unity specific, but anything that can offer opportunity for spiritual growth and development, and to expand our boundaries and to really stretch us. And there's wonderful curriculums and you know, book studies and things to explore. And I think it's really great to have a variety and to shift it up and not just stick with the same flow of things.
Okay. And you talked about something about there's a class for, boy, I can retain like 10% of what I hear. It's like classes to facilitate, to be a facilitator for something. You mentioned
That I would facilitate classes?
No, does anybody with me about that?
Are you speaking about the Prosperity Plus that was in the announcement?
Yeah, Prosperity Plus. That one. So there's a class, right, a facilitator class to
train the facilitators?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And I've done that work. I'm very familiar with it. I embrace the idea of small group studies and developing leadership within the ministry and supporting those to step and stretch themselves to facilitate. And the beauty of a course like that is you have the curriculum and the process, so you don't have to make it up yourself. And it's wonderful when you can have the confidence to step into doing that. And I believe that in a small group, or when we do the deep dive studies midweek from Sunday, because Sunday you can't go as deep, but it's the wisdom of the group, and everyone brings that, and collectively you interact and share, and it's very powerful.
Well, boy, this is going to come across pretty arrogant, and it probably is, because I'm pretty arrogant. Some of the problems I have with the book studies, I don't know who picks the books, but some of them seem like pretty basic, like what I would call training wheel books.
Well,
Maybe we could discuss that at a time one-on-one.
Oh, perfect.
well, I would just say quickly that one of the challenges, and usually the minister is hands-on in selecting most of that, is to offer variety, because it's to meet the community wherever they're at, and there's always people coming in that are unfamiliar with the philosophy that Unity teaches. And so they need that foundation and the basics. And then the challenge, even on Sundays, is also to reach those that have been coming for a while and want to be stretched and challenged. And so I think that it's important to try to find that balance in all things, and that in a class, there is a way to be able to offer things that, like, this is the foundation, and then we gradually evolve and we can stretch it so that, because I'm very aware that that if people are bored, they're not going to come.
Yeah.
So Michael and I follow the philosophy of one of our professors in seminary when she said the minister's job is to comfort the afflicted and then afflict the comfortable. And so it's to be constantly challenging you out of your comfort zone and to be able to do that in the class no matter where you're at.
Yeah, I want to be afflicted.
Good.
Because for me, I mean, this is not braggadocious. I just read at a high level. I mean, right now I'm reading St. John of the Cross, and I love that book.
Well, I appreciate knowing that you want to be challenged.
I do.
Okay.
So bring it on.
Okay, Barbara Scott. I think this will be a quick question, so let me take this off. I really appreciated, this was unique for me to hear the challenge that you set to us as a community. And so I find myself, I had to just sit with that for a while. And I heard the welcome, I heard the appreciation, and I'm curious, now that I've sat with it for a little while, of what, and I don't want to get too far ahead of you, but like, what does that look like? I appreciated your response to Nick's question and finding the balance and all that, but it's like, yeah, we need to grow, we need to do all these things. What is that, like, can you just speak to that? What does that look like?
I appreciate that. I don't know if there's like a blueprint for that, but where I have evolved in my experience of ministry, and one of the frustrations that a minister often experiences is that the majority of the people might come Sunday and they like to be entertained and maybe inspired, and then they go about their day and their week. But they're not really interested in coming to classes and going deeper, because you really can't go deeper into what we teach and how to practice it unless you come to a class where you can ask questions. And so moving from that place where the traditional role is what we call minister-centric, where the minister is like the CEO and micromanages everything, and if the minister wasn't there, then things weren't functioning very well. And it's a formula for burnout for the minister, and it's why ministers, you might be interested in knowing the statistics that the majority of Unity ministers, after they're ordained, leave ministry after 5 years. So for me and a minister, it's like moving to that mission-centric, where it's a collaborative, that everybody is, from the membership to the board to the staff to the minister, we're all see that this is a team and we're in a collaborative effort to thrive. There's a purpose for this community, and it only succeeds when everyone participates fully. And so you bring yourself and you say, how can I share? We talk about time, talent, treasure, but it's the truth. It's like the resources that we all have support the thriving, and if this is important to you, then you'll show up. You'll come to the classes, you'll volunteer, and you will be committed to stretching yourselves. And then the balance of the work allows everyone to feel like they're not overburdened, and they get tired. It's like, oh, I just can't do this anymore. And I don't want to be that minister. And I needed to take a step back. And part of it was for my own healing work. I feel like I'm a much more balanced minister than I was probably 3 years ago. And really, truly, understanding the hardships of life that we're all struggling with, and that in this community is where we can come to support and find the resources and to practice in a safe place. And so that's what I talk about when I see you, is to see that light. It's like maybe with your greeting. When you do namaste, it's like I see you. I'm seeing your light. I'm seeing beyond who you are. Because I acknowledge you, I bring you into existence, and that matters. That's the community that it shifts to a whole other place. And your willingness to participate and expand and grow, because ministries have to be different to thrive moving forward. So how do we prepare? 10 years down the road. We may not, it's exploring. What do we need to prepare to be ready to thrive in 10 years? That's a mission-centric, that's a ministry that comes together and says, we're in this together.
Okay, so we've got just a couple minutes before Miss Amy needs to start shutting things down. I see a question here.
I hate to pull the curtain back, but, don't get me wrong, you're a terrific minister. My question is, what kind of administrator are you?
What kind of what?
Administrator.
Administrator. I feel like I can balance things. I have a lot of background in business. I have a degree in business administration. I grew up with, my parents were entrepreneurs, and my dad, when he eventually went into the travel business, I graduated from high school and I worked with him in starting that business, and I learned about all the pieces. Of course, it was a lot different in 1970s than it is now, because we didn't even have computers and everything was manual. And my mother started a Irish gift shop, and it became like a little coffee shop thing. And so I managed the books and did the inventory and scheduled the staff. When we started Unity Awakening Ways, I'm the one that put together all of the paperwork and all we had to do, and created the website and the Facebook and the media. And so if it's something I don't know, I generally take a class. So though it's not my favorite thing to get bogged down to, but my husband actually eloquently, somebody asked him about me and said that I can balance my left and right brains. Though I prefer to be in the creative side, but and I also think that as a minister that you need to be a good delegator, that I don't need to do everything, but I need to understand what it's supposed to look like when it's done.
Cerny.
I just want to say that you must have musical theater in your background, because you had a nice little bit of singing there.
Well, I did start taking voice when I was 12. My goal was to be on Broadway. I did do musical theater in high school, and so the vibrational energy of music is deep in my soul, and I see it's an important part of the flow of the service, to recognize the vibrational energy and what we bring, and that matches the message. It makes it much more powerful for the experience of the congregation.
Thank you I thought you had a very efficient delivery and word count. It really came through. And so my last question is, will you reinstate confessions and eating fish on Fridays, mandatory?
Sometimes you just have to say no.
I love it. I love this community. Any other questions? Yeah. Okay, we got two more. We got to make them kind of quick for, no, she says we're good. Okay. I want to honor Amy's time too. Oh, went right past your girl.
Okay. I was on the minister interview committee, and one of the things that we found in this church that people were very interested in was the mystical. And I'm not talking about a cult so much as just, you know, the energy that surrounds and binds all things. And do you have a definition for that? What is your understanding? How do you define?
Well, I would just say simply that it's about aligning with the vibration of who we are and recognizing how it impacts. There's an imprint that we make with everything we think, say, and do. And when we have that awareness, we shift how we live and how we interact in the world. And so part of the practice in, you know, the spiritual principles that we teach, unity was meant to acknowledge there's a unification of Western and Eastern philosophy. And I think there's deep, rich beauty in indigenous peoples' practices. And so it's exploring those, and it's like, because each one of those offers a way of living. And isn't that what we're really here to practice? It's what Jesus taught, a way of living, not dogma or policy and procedure, though we have to have some of that just to function. But it's like getting into the heart of the vibration of life and just being in that.
All right, and this is Lisa. So in the vision that you're holding for the ministry that you want to be a part of, how large is the congregation in your vision?
You know, I don't know that it matters. I think that no matter size you are, if everyone is fully invested in the community and participating, that you have everything you need to thrive, and that you have the open space for whoever wants to join you. And that I think we restrict ourselves when we say we're only, you know, until we get to with 200 people, then we're not really, you know, a thriving community. So that isn't, and because every leap in size adds another level of challenge. And so being bigger isn't necessarily better.
All right, any other questions from anybody? Yes. Nope, making my way over.
I've been associated with this Unity of Federal Way, now Unity of South Sound, since 1979, when my mother became the pianist and the organist for the church when it was in Federal Way. When our minister left Tacoma in 1981, I couldn't relate to the new person that came in, so I just hopped on the freeway and went up to Unity of Federal Way, where I found a wonderful home and became a member. As years went on, I ended up marrying the minister that left Unity of Tacoma, the Reverend Jim Peterson, and we served churches in Santa Barbara, Alaska 3 times, Salt Lake City 3 times, and even though we worked on a Namaste program in Las Vegas for years, we ended up coming back here to help my mother 5.5 years ago. My beloved Jim passed in 2020, and my mother passed in February, and we buried her last Saturday. And I'm stepping back into here, but what I want to say, through all of my experience since 1979 in this congregation, these people, through the years, though some have come and some have gone, there are some who are still here from when I walked in the door the very first time. And they are so loving and so kind and so generous and so willing to work with whatever situation comes up. And they welcomed my husband and I when we came back into this community 5 years ago. And when I had a crisis, my mother and I were hit by a truck 4 years ago. And I just had a 6-hour oral surgery in January to do some repair. But the people of the congregation stood up, stepped up, reached out, and loved me and helped me, and even got me through financially when I was in the worst crisis of my life. I just couldn't have even dreamed anything like this could or whatever happened, just like at the loss of your son, my husband lost his son as well. I could so relate to all your stories, and I knew that you came here for me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, LaDonna. Thank you. Any other questions? I'm feeling a great energy here. So thank you, Reverend Megan. Any closing words you'd like to share?
Well, I just want to thank you all for your willingness to show up and participate and your curiosity, because I know that, there's this wonderment and it's like, and there's a hope. It's like you want to have your spiritual leadership in place. I'm, ready to completely dismantle my life and replant myself somewhere. I really like to have the answer to that question too. So thank you for this opportunity to explore with you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All righty, thank you.